And here we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Dark Council podcast. It is me, the freelancer, here with Jake yet again.
Yo!
And this time it is just us. I know in the last one we had Cam join us, and we may have him in future episodes. I think I kind of want to pull him in when we do our next addition to the death tier list.
Okay.
Because I think we discussed last time we were gonna do either the games or the shows. I think it was the next one. I mean, the games there's a lot more. The shows, the games there's a lot more, especially just looking at KOTOR and that whole lineup. Just looking at KOTOR, you're looking at so many characters.
God, I'm thinking about the. Oh my God, my brain stopped working now. Oh!
Old Republic.
No, not Old Republic. Fuck. The one with Kyle Katarn in it.
The
Dark
Jedi
Forces
Knight
series.
games. The
Dark Forces and Jedi Knight games. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot in there. There's a lot in there too, but that one is more. That one is still a smaller list when you look at the entirety of the Old Republic games combined.
Yes.
When you look at all three Old Republic games compared to just the 5 games in the Jedi Knight series.
Yep. But if you go dark side, those are some of the jobbiest deaths.
There is a fair number of jobber deaths.
It is insane.
We all remember what happened to Rosh.
Dude, I don't know what happened to Tavian. If you go dark side, the first Jedi Outcast game, man, that bitch got.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're on the additional topic of this one. May notice that there was no stream notification because, as I posted about earlier, I posted about yesterday, doing a bit of a channel update. I'm gonna try to do those like every middle of the month. Around the middle of the month, I'm gonna try to do a channel update and try to keep track of everything, let everybody know what's going on, and kind of do like a showing of this is kind of where I'm at with things right now.
Yeah.
If there's anything new I want to try, anything new coming up. Which I did overgo one thing, and that's mentioning that this week's topic is going to be a topic shift, but there is a reason for this that I think I mentioned at one point in the past. So
big smooth.
I know I said I was going to do Force Unleashed as our topic today, but that then brought up the thought process to me that we were at one point talking about going through and doing a proper like let's play of a bunch of the Star Wars games.
Mm-hmm.
And so at some point I want to actually go about doing that, and I want to try to do at least one of those every month. I want to try to do a series. I want to try to do one of those every month, and we'll stream them on Twitch more than likely, so that I can just upload them over to YouTube until I can get YouTube streaming sorted, because fuck, if the last time I tried that was there was a lot of things that broke after trying to mess with that.
Yeah, wasn't that the one where we lost a whole episode?
There was that, and then there was the other one when we were having issues with the Helldivers stream, when we were doing the 1 year anniversary for Helldivers.
Oh, yeah.
Which I think was pretty much the straw that broke the camel's back until I could fucking fix everything and optimize that. So, we're gonna figure that one out at some point in the future. For now, though, we're gonna keep these as record. We're gonna keep to Twitch for streaming, but I will still be uploading everything on YouTube, this included, because this is now going to be in recording format, because eventually I want to have like a proper overlay setup thing, so I can actually like make things look nice and kind of have like the images in more plain view for everybody to see and give everybody the visual of what we're talking about.
Hell yeah, dude.
So at some point that'll be something we'll get when things start getting more active, when we progress things a bit more. But when, like I said, instead of doing Force Unleashed today, I'm gonna topic shift us to something that does actually lead into the Force Unleashed games.
Okay.
So
okay. I wait with bated breath.
I know we've talked about various like weird effect things that have happened in Star Wars. We've talked about a bunch of characters, a bunch of the cool technology, a bunch of the worlds. But we have yet to do one thing, and that is discuss particular events of Star Wars in more great detail beyond just what like the shows or movies show us.
Okay.
And today's topic, I think, is one that many will recognize for the infamous Syrian Jedi Master Ki-Adi-Mundi saying in Revenge of the Sith, "But what about the droid attack on the Wookiees?" For we are going to be discussing the Battle of Kashyyyk.
Okay. The one you catch glimpses of in the movie with Yoda around.
Yes, and which also serves as is also one of the big battleground spots in the 2005 Battlefront 2.
Which was one of the better levels.
That was one of the fuck levels, dude.
So good, dude.
Dude, that level, to this day, is the level that is one of the 3 levels in that entire campaign that has frustrated me to no end.
Yeah, oh my god.
Of every single one of the... So, it's specifically because when I was little, I had a huge challenge trying to overcome the effect of I need to hold all these fuckers off from getting to the fuel canisters in the fucking back.
Oh, you played clones? Ha, that's why.
Well, the campaign you only play as clones.
Yeah, but the campaign wasn't that bad.
I also am looking at it from the
Granted,
also,
in 2005,
from the,
I wasn't a child.
Yeah, as a child, child in 2005, I was in fact frustrated with this bullshit.
I was a teenager in 2005.
I was about 6 or 7. I was about 6. I was about 6 around the time that game came out.
Shut up about the passage of time. Shut up about the passage of time. Shut up about the passage of time. It's bad here.
Yeah, it's rough for you.
Oh, I'm so old. All right, continue.
So, yeah, I remember that one being extremely frustrating, but eventually learning to get over it because I learned one particular strat. Play as the engineer and fucking heal the gate.
Yep. I like the idea of like...
Because they can break the gate, yes, but that doesn't mean that as an engineer with a fucking repair tool, you can't repair it.
Yep.
Engineer is engineer. That is also, by the way, how I unlocked my first elite weapon, by the way, was the fucking just going through that entire game playing, doing the entire mission there as the clone engineer. That is how I unlocked the flechette shotgun. Nice.
All I can think of is droids destroying your gate. They hate this one little trick. It's just a dude crouched behind the gate with a welder.
The best part is, I eventually also learned how. I eventually would go on to set up a ton of freaking I would also do the remote deck packs whenever the tanks would come up. So anytime the tanks came forward, I'm just like, all right, so you get a bomb, you get a bomb, boom. You get a bomb, you get a bomb, boom.
Engineer the Oprah of bombs.
We all get bombs.
You get a bomb, you get a bomb, everybody gets a bomb. People's chairs in the audience start exploding. I need to edit that. I
You
need to
fucking
edit
edit.
Oprah wearing a clone helmet. Just pointing, you get a bomb. And it has to be like just words like, you get a bomb. You get a bomb. Everybody gets a bomb. And then it's just the camera pans to the chairs and just little poorly edited explosions on the chairs.
Just have that one final sound effect of one dude who's off in the fucking crowd, just like, huh?
Yeah.
Fucking-
The first bomb blows up here. Shut the fuck up. Oh no.
It's awful. But yeah, no, that's that was the torment that I had with that map when
Understandable.
as a child. That was one of the 3 maps in that game that gave me so much hell. Polis Massa was the other one.
Polis Massa sucks shit no matter what side you're on, what era you're in. Man, I hate Polis Massa. Me and my homies hate Polis Massa.
All the real homies fucking hate Polis Massa.
Dog, you're playing a clone on Polis Massa. You are getting wrist rocketed.
You are in fact getting that long ass fucking corridor. Your ass is eating shit for it.
Jesus, watch out for those wrists. Boom! You couldn't even finish the word, man.
It's even worse when you realize the droids can walk outside without suffering.
Yes. It took me a while to find out how they were getting over there. I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing? How are you doing that? And then eventually I played the droids during a conquest, and I was like, I'm wondered. I'm curious. And I walked out and went, what the fuck? This changes everything.
Monkey neuron activation.
Metal Man walk outside, shoot rocket at tank.
Kill tank before reach command post.
We have taken another command post. Oh my god, dude. The droidicas.
And then the last of them that I think infuriated me the most over the years was, was actually another, it was actually another, kashyyyk one. It was the space battle. It was the kashyyyk space battle. That one fucking sucked.
Dog, all the space battles are the exact same.
It's specifically the missions you had to go through and the fact you only get 60 fucking reinforcements.
Oh, yeah, that. Okay, yeah.
You have to go and destroy not 1, not 2, but 5 munificent frigates.
Imagine even dying once in a space battle.
Again, this was as a this was as a
little baby child.
This was the child that barely understood what a combo string was.
Child didn't have object permanence to grab bomber.
No, I look, I straight up would always, you're not even wrong when you fucking say that is the worst part. My dumbass with my child brain would see the ARC 170 and the Jedi Interceptor and immediately think,
of course you did. Dude, that's because those were the cooler ships.
They were the cooler ships.
Those ones are cool. I want to play those. And then you lose all 60 reinforcements. Like, I don't understand.
It's even worse because we're up to the dot. By the time I think I even died the first time, we were already down 30 because the AI is just that infuriatingly stupid.
Oh yeah.
The AI is more the reason you lose that mission than anything else.
Now, here's something I found out about those games. The tickets just count down.
Yes.
There could be no one dying. They will still count down.
Yes. It's
You'd be like,
fucking
the game lied
stupid.
to me.
The game has been forcing these dumbasses to die. The game has been hitting the slash kill on X fucking bot.
Oh no.
God said the Force once again with this sick sense of humor. out here trying to fucking kill the damn bot, so I suffer. Anyway, those are the 3 fucking maps I hate. Those were the 3 missions in that campaign that infuriated me the most.
Understandable.
And to this day, Polis Massa is still the most infuriating.
I get it, man. Yeah, Polis Massa, it's bad. No matter what era, no matter if it's campaign or skirmish or any, it sucks. It sucks so bad. And then I found out what Polis Massans look like, and I was like, Space Gungans.
They are actually kind of weird.
Yeah, I was like, deserved.
It's actually kind of funny because in a Age of Rebellion game that Corey Loses was in, he actually played a Polis Massan.
Oh, why would you play a gray? What a weirdo.
He did a Polis Massan, and I think he was actually flying a Y-Wing, which is all the stranger. I think the fighter he ended up with was a Y-Wing.
Hell yeah, dude. What a bad fighter to be in.
Yeah,
good bomber, terrible fighter.
Yeah.
You hear that, Alphabet Squad? You don't put a Y-Wing in a fighter group.
What the B-Wing was for.
It's exactly what the B-Wing was for. We're like, no, but the Y-Wing, no. Shut up!
Shut up!
Stop being bad at video games!
Stop being bad at everything!
Oh.
Yeah, there's That's the pre-topic rant out of the way. Shall we actually get into the shall we actually discuss the droid attack on the Wookiees?
No, so we're gonna get into the mid-topic rant. Got it.
Those will come up. Those will come up. Assuredly, those will come up. Another reason I actually wanted to point to this one is because of our book club topic, which next Sunday, by the way, is when we are having our book club book club for the week.
Yep.
We are reading Dark Disciple for those who are not aware. Speaking of, how far are you into that?
I have already finished it.
Oh, you've already finished it. Shit.
I've already finished it.
I'm actually behind.
It was fuck, dude. I like this book way more than I liked the
Rogue Squadron
one. This one was great.
Yeah, this one is, if you're a fan of books that give a lot of focus and a lot of moments to specific characters, this is definitely a book for you. But we'll get to definitely do our deep dive on this one next week when we cover that topic.
Yes.
Next Sunday, that'll be when we do that. So tune in for that.
If you guys haven't started the book yet, or you weren't interested, do it. Definitely, it's really, really good.
It's a really good one.
And then you can tell me how good it was.
Yeah, it's
I'm like, oh damn, dude, he was super right. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, there's a few things of note throughout this throughout that book, and it also kind of gives it. One of the main characters of that book is actually involved in our topic of discussion today.
Oh.
Yes, because Jedi wanna. So I'll kind of introduce him as we go through this, but so for those unaware, obviously Kashyyyk being the home of the Wookiees and was a pretty big world for a lot of reasons. There's a lot of reasons people wanted the Wookiee homeworld. Between the resources that the planet had, the fact that they had the fact that they were placed at a pretty key hyperspace junction, There's another big factor to consider with them was Kashyyyk was one of the many planets that was a prime spot for the Outer Rim sieges, which was considered the last major offensive for the Clone Wars. Kashyyyk, alongside planets like Felucia, Utapau, Seleucami, Boz Pity, a lot of these planets were on the list as the big battles of... There was a lot of battles going on around this time, and these were essentially the last battles of the Clone Wars. And so we kind of enter this one prior to the Republic siege around 19 BBY. When the Republic comes to the aid of the Wookiees around 19 BBY, we are looking at this from that point. So obviously we know general lore is that the Wookiee homeworld was invaded by the CIS, hoping to claim the hyperspace junction that Kashyyyk had, as well as gain information on secret hyperspace routes rumored to be in Wookiee archives. Because for those that didn't know, Wookiees are actually really good at hyperspace travel.
Surprisingly good.
Really good They're really good astrogators.
You almost said astropaths. I know you.
I was actually about to say astrogationist.
Oh. Fuck, I don't know you. Who is this man?
You have failed to download the DLC.
Shit, dude. You had the brain cell this time. It wasn't mine. But I thought it was.
Yeah, there's the Wookiees have a long history of being really good astrologists or astrogationists or whatever. Like, I'm not solid on what the fuck that term is. But
I think they're just called navigators.
I mean, navigator's probably the way I would do it, but it's like, it's specifically for the whole, like, using the actual star maps, because they were specifically really good at crafting star maps, which is another big reason why Kashyyyk was one of the places where there was a star map in KOTOR, in the KOTOR game. Why one of the Starforged star maps was on Kashyyyk. Because that kind of ties into the Wookiees' history of being astrogation navigators.
No, that's fair.
Hyperspace navigators, or whatever the fucking term... Whatever the term we're going to come up with.
Space navigators who work in space on their spaceships while wearing space armor.
In space.
In space. Go space up. Go
space up.
Go. Oh no.
But yeah, that's and among a bunch of these battles that were going on during the time of the Battle of Kashyyyk, this is actually one of the more, I'd pretty much say this was one of the most bloody battles in the last stages of the Clone Wars, for many reasons that we will get to discuss. So, obviously, we have a bunch of different battles. The first Battle of Kashyyyk and the Battle of Kachiro are two of the biggest battles that occurred during the overall siege of the planet. There are a bunch of smaller operations that are occurring on the planet as well. One most notably undertaken by the infamous clone commandos of Delta Squad, which is actually the last segment of their video game, is going to Kashyyyk after the mission to the rogue acclimator that they managed to salvage and kill a bunch of Trandoshans on. Now, this battle got really fucking intense after the actual battle kicked off during the fight in the capital city, where Delta Squad basically led a Wookiee resistance group. So obviously the Separatists had used Trandoshans to occupy this world, and as we learned from the Grievous episode, Grievous had a big hand to play in that initial invasion. Because prior to the actual Republic's involvement with it, Grievous had ordered essentially the Separatists to employ the Trandoshans, who pretty much occupy the same damn system, by the way.
Trandoshans canonically just absolutely hate Wookiees.
Abso-fucking-lutely hate Wookiees. Now, there were other various clone regiments involved. Delta Squad and Omega Squad were both involved on this planet for some of the various commando teams. There were various other ones. Apparently, Bogey Squad and Triton Squad are two other ones most notably involved. Some of the fighter squadrons include Lightning Squadron, which I think is actually one of the Walker Squadrons. I think that was a squadron specifically dedicated to ATRT, like units driving around ATRTs. So they were kind of like a fast hit and run unit. There were a lot of infamous vehicles that came out of this battle. The clone turbo tank probably being the biggest of them on the battlefield, because this is where we are first introduced to that hulking monster.
Dude, I love the turbo tank.
The turbo tank is really fucking cool. Others that were introduced are the big tripod cannon walker, the AT-AP. The ATRT is another one that's first introduced in this battle. There's various Wookiee technology that were shown off, like the big Wookiee flyers, as well as the smaller gunships. Well, like airspeeder gunship things. And
Wookiees are crazy because they look like, for lack of a better term, they look primitive, but like their technology is so good.
They do have some of the best technology of a lot. Well, it's not even that they are just primitive for all intents and purposes. They are actually surprisingly sophisticated. It's just they are very simple in how they go about a lot of things. A lot of societal things are very simplistic, but for their ability to do things, they are actually one of the more intelligent species of the galaxy. It's how again, they gained the infamous mastery of being very good navigators. They also basically built entire cities into the massive, several 1,000-foot high trees that populate the jungles of their planet.
Yeah, which is again one of the reasons why I feel like they get that primitive, like.
I mean, even if you look at some of those cities,
I know they look fantastic, but they're like, you live in trees.
Like
you can't speak basic or any other language.
See, we know that is actually not true, but
I know, right?
We know it's not true. Thank you, Timothy Zahn.
Not canon anymore.
Not canon, but neither is a lot of the stuff we're going to be talking about.
True.
Because I'm specifically going to be putting emphasis on the legend side of this battle. Because the legend side of this is 12,000 times more interesting!
Oh, yeah. More interesting than nothing.
Nothing. You had the battle. That's it. Yoda kills some clones and then fucked off. That's it.
Literally planet-wide invasion. They show you one battle. Like, yes, that's the whole thing.
They literally do just show, like, 2 whole scenes of the actual battle.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually kind of rough because visually, I think the Battle of Kashyyyk was my favorite battle of any of the ones that we saw going on during the whole, like, run through of various battles in Revenge of the Sith. It also was emphasized later, the more I got to be involved in it when I saw a lot of the video games, when we saw a lot of video games and getting to go to that battle and seeing that theater in the campaign. Like Battlefront 2, Republic Commando, even when you see what the aftermath of it looks like, or what we will see of what it looks like when we eventually go through Force Unleashed. Because there's a lot of this story that leads up to that. Because the events of Force Unleashed happen almost practically close enough together that there is no real gap between the end of the battle with the Separatists and when the Republic changes to the Empire. Like, it's pretty much the end of the movie, and that's when we first actually really get into some of the craziness. But there's a lot of
stuff happens before Order 66.
Well, there's some cool stuff that happens after, but that stuff we will get to see. That stuff we'll get to talk about, and stuff we'll get to see in the eventual playthrough for the Force Unleashed game.
Mm-hmm.
So, to open this off in canonical, we kind of run through a lot of the individuals involved with this battle. We'll kind of go at this from the Republic and the Wookiees, and then the known commanders of the droids. The known commanders for the Separatists. So obviously, the major forces involved are the Republic, the Jedi, and the Kashyyyk Resistance. These groups are opposing the CIS. The forces in favor of defending Kashyyyk from the Separatists are High General and Jedi Grand Master Yoda, Jedi General Luminara Unduli, Jedi General Quinlan Voss,
Ugh, rough.
Jedi General Sui Choi, and of all the Jedi, the last one is Jedi General Etain Tur Makan. For the Wookiees, there is the Wookiee Chieftain Tarful, a Wookiee commander by the name of Gumbayk, and then Chewbacca. The clone leaders involved are Commander Gree, Commander Fey, and Bravo leader. As for Separatist leadership, General Grievous, who is only involved early in that battle. As we know, he departs before the initial invasion even really begins, but he is part of the initial Separatist occupation around Kachiro. And then the Separatist commander Karnas. As for some of the units involved, of those that actually have a name, we have the 7th Alina Reconnaissance Regiment, Delta Squad, Omega Squad, the 41st Elite Corps, the 76th Regiment, the 91st Recon Corps, with their most notable members being among Lightning Squadron, the 501st Legion,
Hell yeah, the best one.
Bogey Squad, and Triton Squad. Those are all of the known members of the... Those are all the known names of Republic task forces involved in this battle. Overall, they also give a... another reason why I wanted to do the Legends version is it actually gives me the rundown of all the units involved. So I can actually list off the specific units that were being utilized in the battle. So, For vehicles, we had the ATRTs, the Biker Advanced Recon Commandos, or BARCs, Clone Commandos, which included the members of Delta Squad, Boss, Scorch, Fixer, and Sev.
Those are my boys.
The Clone Commandos of Omega Squad. Don't think do they have their names listed on here, because I will go ahead and up front say I do not have enough knowledge on some of the other Clone Commander units to be able to call them out by name.
That's fair. They all have weird names anyway because they're clones.
Yeah. The clones were also utilizing the infantry support platforms, the all-terrain reconnaissance transport, or ATRTs, the all-terrain personal transports, or ATPTs, the all-terrain attack pods, ATAPs, all-terrain tactical enforcer, the ATTE, the TX-130S fighter tanks, otherwise known as the Saber tank.
Okay.
And the HAV/WA6 Juggernaut clone turbo tanks.
That big boy.
For air power, they had the Avior jet catamarans, the Rodau Nass fluttercraft, the Lat gunship, V-wing starfighters, ETA-2 interceptors, V-19 turrets, which blows my mind that they are actually still using the V-19 at this point in the Clone Wars.
Which one's that one?
That's the one that's like the weird three-wing fighter where the wings fold up over the craft. Hang on, I'll grab the fucking image of it. I've got an image of it, I think.
Isn't that the one they replaced the Ark?
It's one of the ones, it's one of the, like, first craft you see in the Clone War series. It's the first fighter craft you see in the Clone War series. This one.
Oh, you're putting it in weird places. How dare you? Okay. Yep.
Yeah, because I want to have it so everybody can see this. So this is kind of my medium for, because I learned I could do this when we did the episode last time. I'm like, wait, I could just do this, dumbass.
Smooth.
Fucking absolute smoothest of brains.
I mean, it looks cool.
It's
a proto B-wing.
I mean, I think they're actually made by the same people who made the Y-wing, weirdly enough. I think this is a Cohen Sayer fighter.
Oh.
I'd have to double check it, but I'm pretty sure the V-19 was a Cohen Sayer.
I'm not gonna lie, I think it would have been cooler without the bottom fin.
It's kind of the one weird part of it. And of course, we know the ARC 170 was involved.
Hell yeah.
Best
the clone fighter.
Inferno, which I think is one of the, I think is a ship. The CR-25 troop carriers, which, if you don't know what this thing is, I will share an image, because this thing is one of the coolest fucking transports ever.
So not a lat.
No. It carries lats.
A second lat has hit the spire. That thing looks dope!
It's so cool!
Yo, I like that. That's cool. That's so cool. How do they get people in the lats, though?
They would load the lats. They would initially load the lats beforehand, and they can dock with that ship. The ship also has a modification to it, which allows you to have a larger troop bay on it.
Okay. Dope.
Because if you look at it, there is a hatch on the top there.
Yeah.
Just above the lat, there is a hatch there that is supposed to be where you board the craft during its like docked phase.
Okay.
It's like docked up with a ship. That would be where you'd board troops onto it. But in another another design for it. There's a larger like under bay. Instead of being able to carry the 2 lat gun ships, you would have a much larger like vehicle bay or troop transport bay.
Okay, cool. I like it. It's cool.
It's a fucking cool. This is actually one of the ones that I think was initially featured in Republic Commando. I think is when this thing is first introduced.
I mean, it looks like it has the same kind of aesthetic.
Yeah, it's
a lot of the ships in Clone Commando.
I'm pretty sure, like, the first... I think this may have been the first visual, but I think it may have been mentioned in another instance. So I'd have to look for that, but...
Now, what's crazy is that it doesn't look like a Republic ship.
Yeah, it is very much one of the more, rougher... I mean, again, it's that Republic Commando design, where everything was kind of, like, really bland colored.
Yeah, it all had that, everything was gunmetal and or
it had
brown.
the, like, it had the almost, like, Tarkin Doctrine mindset in mind.
Tarkin was around at that point.
He was. Then there was also the Erodia, which was another, infamous ship, I believe. As well as 25 or more Acclimator-class assault ships and Venators.
Yeah!
For the droids' overall droids' overall unit strength going into this, the droids obviously were utilizing the standard B1 series battle droid, the Commander battle droids, droid marines, assault battle droids, battle droid assassins, engineers, the pilot battle droids, and the security battle droids.
Fuck, I love dude.
They also, of course, had the B2 super battle droids. The IG-100 Magna Guards were utilized in this battle for more than one reason. Worst fucking enemy to fight in the Republic Commando games.
Dude, those guys sucked. I don't like them. Each one was a mini-boss, and they came in pairs.
Always in pairs. Always in pairs.
I think I'd rather fight the spider droids.
Dude, I would very much fight the fucking spider droid. I would graciously fight the freaking advanced dwarf spider droid.
Yeah.
I'd fight the fucking Geonosian elites over that shit. Because at least I know 1 or 2 shots from the freaking Wookiee rocket launcher would put those fuckers down. I have to work for that IG-100 to go down.
Yep. Yeah.
Another of their big lineup of droids they utilized was the A-Series Assassin droid, which is one of the more obscure assassin droids. Which I will actually show a picture of.
You should, because I don't know what you're talking about. Oh my god. My eyes are so fucking
This thing.
itchy.
It's dumb.
Oh, I don't like it.
It's dumb.
It looks like the precursor to the IG-88 if it was stupid.
If it had a derpy brother. They also were utilizing droidicas. The Viper probe droids were also made use of.
Which ones are the Viper probe droids?
It's the just general probe droids from like Empire Strikes Back.
Really?
Yeah, it's just the probe droid.
Oh.
Yeah. I think specifically they're referring to the ones that you fight in Republic Commando. The little like scav droids. I think those are a variant of the Viper, or at least they're built off the similar frame.
Oh, okay.
I may be wrong. They may actually have just been the Viper probes. I don't remember. I don't know if they were actually ever shown or not, but I'm going to assume they were because the CIS did make use of the Viper probe before the Empire did. They had their own variant of it.
It's a good probe droid.
Because the one the Empire actually makes use of is the Mark II variant of the Viper.
Oh.
The CIS, I think, were the ones utilizing the Viper probe standard model.
Is that the one with the weird cone head? Like instead of looking like a hamburger, it looks like an ice cream cone.
Hang on. So this is the early model.
I don't like it. Which one am I thinking of?
I don't know. Because this is the Mark II right here. This is the one the Empire makes use out of.
That's the good old boy.
Yeah. There's very slight differences, but one of the biggest additions was the fact that it was more armored than its original counterpart.
Yeah.
They made it more armored. They gave it a heavier weapon system.
Yep.
And they also gave it the anti-capture device, which basically made it so it would self-destruct if it was put in a vulnerable position, destroying any data it actually carried. It would relay all of its last transmission and then immediately blow its shit up.
Am I thinking an Old Republic?
I think you're thinking of the probe droid from the Old Republic.
Okay.
Because the probe droid in the Old Republic, there were a lot of weird variants of the probe droid in the Old Republic.
Yeah. I remember one that was just like it had like a conical head.
Yes. Yes, I do know of one in Old Republic that had one like that.
Okay.
Alongside that being all the basic droid infantry they deployed, they did have a few organic soldiers in the mix here. Among them was, of course, the Trandoshan slavers that Grievous had hired on.
Mm-hmm.
The Geonosians and their Geonosian elite.
Ugh, gross. Get them out of here. Genocide all of them.
They did.
Good.
And then we get to all of the vehicles. We have the Stap Speeders, the Standard Dwarf Spider Droid, the Advanced Dwarf Spider Droid, the Crab Droid, the Trade Federation Troop Carriers, the MTT, the Persuader Class Droid Enforcers, the AAT, the Hailfire Droid Tank, the Homing Spider Droid, the HMP Gunships, the Vulture Droid, the Droid Tri-Fighters, the C-99-79 landing crafts, which are the big four-winged things that we see in Episode 1. The big landing crafts that the Trade Federation use.
Oh, okay.
That's the actual designation of them, is the C-99-79. They, of course, also had Munificent-class star frigates, Requisite-class light destroyers, and Providence-class carrier destroyers. As we know, one of the... Now, I will not go into the list of casualties that have been sourced from this, but with the overall stats and the unit strengths lined up for us, what's being brought to bear here, let's actually start discussing everything about this battle.
No, before we do that, I will be right back.
Okay.
So hold that thought.
All right.
Oh. I'm just going to keep one eye closed. It'll be fine.
So, we open off on this with the prelude to the battle.
Okay.
So, Kashyyyk obviously being a major navigational hub for the eastern quadrant of the galaxy, sitting at a nexus of the lateral hyperlanes linking the Prelemian trade route and the Corellian run, as well as dominating the ancient routes running from Hutt space towards the core worlds. So, again, this was a pretty big junction world.
Super important.
By 19 BBY, the Republic military had secured the major super hyper routes to the north and south, so the Kashyyyk hyperlanes, though slower than the main routes, represented the Confederacy of Independent Systems' best chance of outflanking the Republic in the Outer Rim or penetrating the core worlds. So, additionally, the Wookiees, of course, were rumored to possess knowledge of secret hyperspace routes that the Klatuvok Guild, based out of the city of Kachiro, were believed to have that they could make use out of. This guild is the one responsible for a long tradition of training hyperspace scouts, and both Republic and Separatist intelligence agencies were determined to claim their archives. And of course, Kashyyyk had long been considered a model of Republic influence in the Mid-Rim, with the Wookiees being representatives of the Republic in the otherwise dangerous Myteranor sector, and on the edge of Hutt space. The Separatist movement considered the Wookiees politically embarrassing.
That's rough.
Therefore, Kashyyyk was a strategically important system, which had been a target for the Confederacy military. Confederate leaders requested the Wookiees join the rebellion, but the Kashyyyk royal families proved indecisive. This is where our glorious cyborg boy comes around and decides to force the agenda a little, Will.
Up a little bit.
Grievous comes out and basically forces a response from them, and in the process of this, the droids accidentally killed the Wookiee prince Rikumi, who was out hunting, and Rikumi, which I think we actually discussed this one in the Grievous episode.
I mean, probably.
Because the prince was out hunting, and Grievous, this was the initial invasion force that Grievous had sent out to kind of act as the staging force. And when he found them, he was ultimately killed in trying to fight off the Separatists.
You know what? I think I remember talking about that because I think I made the same joke.
This act enraged the Wookiee king Grakchawa, who decided to oppose the Separatists. After a number of probing attacks throughout the war, the Separatists finally decided on a full-scale invasion of the city of Kachiro, the capital city of the entire planet.
Kachow.
Which was located in the Wawat archipelago. This was to serve as a literal beachhead into the rest of the forest-covered planet. To this end, the Separatists made particular use of the age-old hostility between the native Wookiees and their system neighbors, the Trandoshans.
Yeah, that hatred runs deep.
That is a heavy hatred.
That is generational hatred.
Now, there is...
Thank you, Bosk.
And, the whole effort here ended up causing various alerts about the Separatist invasion, and the Trandoshans would go about setting up slave camps to inter the Wookiee captives that they would take from local villages. Some of the infamous moments of this are the Wookiee woodsmith Tarkov on a Grantelope hunt with his son Jacoba.
God, those are some Wookiee-ass names, dude.
And they were the ones who, in the Gendy movie, actually discover the droid landing craft. They're the ones that pull off the foliage, hiding it, and reveal the droid landing craft, where they eventually escape from the encounter and see the massive invasion force. Actually share that scene, because that's actually on the thing here. Like, look at that.
That's pretty impressive. It's a lot of dudes.
Because that's them looking on a high from one of the fucking tall-ass Worcestershire trees, by the way.
Yeah, those are...
that's a lot of dudes!
That's a lot of MMTs, dude.
That's a lot of MTTs and fucking ATTs, Persuader tanks, Staps, Hellfire droids. So much! Unnecessary amount!
That's a lot of dudes.
This is... If I'm going to be 100% forward, I think kashyyyk was actually the largest droid invasion force that the Clone Wars ever saw. And I could be mostly wrong about this, because I think Jabim was another pretty nasty one.
Yeah.
But Jabim, I believe, was also a mix between, was also a Civil War encounter, so I don't know if we really count that as an invasion force, per se. Because that was Republic sympathizers against the proper government, so I guess the Republic was more the invaders there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. That initial encounter would pretty much serve as a diversion, among others, for Darth Sidious's grand plan. Because all these little battles around the Outer Rim were to serve for Palpatine's big play of letting Grievous come into Coruscant.
Yep.
And I mean letting him come into Coruscant.
Well, yeah. Go for Papa Palpatine, dude.
Go for Papa Palpatine. So, yeah, so that's pretty much the lead up to this battle. Now, as we learn about later, there's obviously the massive invasion battle that before the actual invasion starts. The members of Delta Squad were given a specific mission. The Clone Commandos, following their engagement few years prior to the Battle of Kashyyyk, about 2 years, I think it was, about 2 years prior to the Battle of Kashyyyk, they learned about a proper invasion force that was coming out to learn about a impending separatist invasion group, and learn that the Wookiee chieftain Tarful has been leading the Wookiee resistance in trying to force the droid army off the planet. And Delta Squad was sent to locate him because he has gone missing, believed to have been captured by the Separatists. Knowing that the Trandoshans have some possible involvement due to what they found on the Acclimator assault ship, they learned that the Trandoshans were in charge of managing and basically overseeing these various slaver camps with separatist support, which we later learn was very much very much the case, especially when they spot General Grievous on the planet.
What a fuck.
Because they were waiting pretty much for an official visual confirmation of Separatist involvement on the planet. Because they really couldn't do anything until they saw a major, imminent reason that the Separatists are involved here. And I guess spotting General Grievous is enough of a fucking reason.
Well, yeah, it's like, I wonder if the Americans are in on this, and then you see the fucking president walk out, and you're like, ah, fuck!
Or like
it's the same
or like
thing.
Seeing the fucking chief of the CIA.
Yeah.
Now,
like, man, I wonder if the Hawaiians are in on it, and then you see Kamehameha, and you're like, ah, I knew it!
Now, the clones of Delta Squad were able to rescue Tarful from from the slaver camps and the clutches of General Grievous before he could escape with the Wookiee chieftain. And that, of course, is where we get our first little brush with the Magna Guards. Fuck them.
My homies hate the Magna Guards.
It's rough because I do actually really like the Magna Guard, but god damn it. Try to fight it in any fucking video game, it's annoying.
Oh, yeah.
They make that thing...
But to be the Magna Guard...
To be the Magna Guard is fucking awesome.
Good.
Especially in the Revenge of the Sith video game.
Yes.
That one, the little side mission where you actually get to play as a Magna Guard fighting clones on Utapau was dope as shit. I'm gonna cut through entire swaths of clones just being a fucking IG 100. Fucking suck Electro Staff, idiot.
Being a big boss. God,
But
so cool.
It is later after they manage to rescue Tarful and bring him back to the Wookiee capital of Kashyyyk. They learn that the Separatists are preparing a massive full-scale invasion, or at the very least, that their big force is on the way. Now, they initially had one major path they could get through to actually breach the capital city, and that was a massive super bridge that basically connected the capital city to the rest of the city's network, to the outside network, essentially.
Yep.
Now, when they managed to reach this point, after many trials, tribulations, and many Trandoshans killed,
Deserved.
They eventually set up their explosives to blow the bridge. And then it dudded. So their initial goal was to plant explosives along the center point of the bridge and blow it out from the center onward. The explosive dudded and caused them to rethink their strategy, which Delta 40 Fixer had come upon the notion that we could use the turrets on the side, we could use the turret guns and blow the fuel line, and that'll destroy the bridge for us. And that is how they were able to bring down the bridge and basically halt the Separatist invasion for a good bit. Now, their job on this was not done, because before the Republic troops could land, which by this point, members of the 501st and various other clone regiments had arrived in orbit with Jedi Grandmaster Yoda, as well as various other Jedi like Luminara Unduli and Quinlan Voss. They had arrived in orbit and were dealing with the forces above. Now, this was one of the more arduous tasks that they had to undergo, and this actually led to one of the members of Delta Squad believed to have been killed during the battle.
Like Spartans, they never die, they just go MIA.
Well, that's pretty much what they did here. So, the clones were given a final mission, because the droids had brought in a requisite light destroyer down into low orbit to start blasting apart the city. Now, the clones had one point of access they could bring this thing down with. The city had an array of orbital defense cannons that they could man up and take out. So, combined, the members of Delta Squad split to each of the 4 key orbital guns and blew that fucking ship out of the sky.
Yeah!
Not only stopping an imminent bombardment from the ship, but also adding to the losses of battle droids they were about to bring to the surface. And by the way, that is one of the more spectacular shots of a big ship being destroyed in that game.
Oh,
the
yeah.
requisite destroyer going up in smoke was awesome.
It was like peak, dude.
But with every epic victory comes a intense loss, as the team's sniper specialist Sev had come upon some issues before they could all reconvene and rendezvous at the pickup point. However, and the squad was forced to abandon Sev, where he was presumed lost and MIA on that mission, because Jedi Grandmaster Yoda had officially declared the Battle of Kashyyyk was upon them. The Republic invasion force made landfall and it broke orbit and was making way to set up for the impending droid offensive. This is where we see what we know in the movie, at least, as the massing at Kashyyyk. While Wookiee forces across Kashyyyk flocked to Kashyyyk, among these brave Wookiees was Chewbacca, an old friend of Kashyyyk's chieftain Tarful, who feared greatly that Kashyyyk would be unable to defend itself against the might of Separatist forces. Led by the Wookiee commander Meru Meru, Wookiee warriors established positions, deepened entrenchments, and revetments. These forces on the ground and the ornithopters and Wookiee catamarans included Salaporin, Igruthra, Hisaba, Adichichik, Guanta, Gorlin, and Lachichuk.
Chichik. Why does that sound familiar? Is that Galactic Battlegrounds?
Yes.
Ah, okay.
That is Chewbacca's father.
Yeah.
Chichik was Chewbacca's father and the leader of the Alaris Prime colony. Which is basically the entire tutorial of... was the entire tutorial section of the Galactic Battlegrounds game, was going through and leading Chewbacca, Chewbacca's brother, I don't remember what his name was, and Adichichik. Because Qui-Gon was on his way to Alaris Prime, and they were trying to establish a defense there and set up a new Wookiee colony, essentially. They're trying to build up a new Wookiee colony there. And they were out there hunting Gundarks to basically start setting up that colony. And that's when Trade Federation forces landed, and by that point, Qui-Gon Jinn gets involved.
Yep. God, Galactic Battlegrounds was such a good game.
Such a good game! Again, I made it known before, but that is my first ever video game.
It's a good one.
And not even just the first game I have played on a computer. That was my first ever video game.
The game.
It was the game. Which is also the reason I had also the reason I've had such a proclivity towards strategy games.
That's fair.
Obviously, the Wookiees were not alone in their offensive here, as a Republic vanguard led by clone trooper Commander Faye, and including a battalion of scout troopers from the 501st Legion, a troop of clone commandos, probably among the members of Omega Squad, and those remaining from Delta Squad, alongside the 7th Alina Reconnaissance Regiment, all led by Jedi Master Sui Choi, who collected intelligence on enemy maneuvers prior to the battle on flying cancels. Is what they're cancels. What is this? What are those things? Oh, the bug things. It's the weird dragonfly horse bug things that they were flying in the movie.
Oh, okay. Oh my god, those things remind me of the mount in Final Fantasy XIV that you get from the bug people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I saw that in the game, and I was like, "Oh fuck, dude, this is just Star Wars."
I'm glad at least your brain thought of it first.
Here, hold on.
Yeah, you get look. Show the fucking picture of this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna get an image of it. Let's see if I can find a better one than that.
I'm sure you can.
Yeah, that'll work. It's got a kind of a hot Rogadin on it. I'm not gonna lie, but please work. Yeah, here we go.
Hey, it does kind of.
Yeah. I worked my ass off to get that.
Was it worth it?
No. But like in most MMOs, I am a mount/pet fiend. Gimme. I want them all. Give me all of them. I don't care how dumb they are. I want it.
So
What do you think I spent 35 real American dollars on a fat cat mount? Of course, that one's my favorite. I love that one. I love fat cat. Sorry, fattest cat.
Fattest cat. Let's be made known. Fattest cat.
Dude, it loafs. It's the best.
Well, this group was the one managing the intelligence gathering. Other elements that would arrive later were those led by Jedi General Luminara Unduli and Quinlan Voss. Now, these were the ones that were... Now, Unduli and Voss, as well as Wookiees led by Kashyyyk, Guildmaster of the Klaatuvok Guild, and an elder from the Paul-Song tribe, infiltrated an encampment of Trandoshans using the Separatist raiding party as an excuse to capture and enslave Wookiees. Destroying the encampment and freeing the hairy simians was a simple matter, but a crab droid ambushed the group shortly after and was subsequently destroyed by the Inferno, a ship belonging to the Deveronian smuggler Vilmar Grarik.
Why does he sound familiar?
Do not know. I have never heard of him. Apparently, though, he has some personal relations with Quinlan Voss. So I assume maybe he heard about what was going on, was in the area, saw Voss, and like, hey, what the fuck's going on here? Vilmar, or Villy, alongside his young Wookiee friend, Kashyyy's grandson, Chak, had apparently recently been smuggling goods to Paul-Song. The Separatist' true intentions in invading Kashyyyk were revealed when a dying Trandoshan, Karnas, revealed that the CIS came in search of the hidden Klaatuvok hyperspace routes that would give them much strategic advantage. It was through Quinlan soon discovering these routes had fallen into the hands of Vilmar, with some assistance from Chak, whose grandfather was a member of the Klaatuvok Guild. Now, after arriving through the dangerous Kashyyyk orbit, due to the Separatist space forces, this would be where the last of the forces would arrive and make official landfall, starting the signs that the battle was upon them. Of course, Yoda had brought the crack battalions of the 41st Elite Corps, generally regarded as the best division in the 3rd Army, led by Clone Commander Gree, alongside a full assault brigade from the 501st Legion. Yoda planned to conduct a static defense and hold the Separatists right outside the walls of Kachiro. 41st Elite reinforced Kachiro just before the Separatists attacked. After receiving a transmission from the Jedi Council concerning the discovery of Separatist General Grievous on Utapau, Yoda went into battle meditation as the Separatist shield generator was lowered. Separatist forces rushed across the lagoon at speed in a simple wave attack. with armor and gunships storming Kachira's beaches and seawalls, with large numbers of droid infantry in support. Marimer's Wookiee forces rushed across the beachfront to confront the enemy, as more warriors swung from the cliffs along the archipelago to place mines on the combustible droid forces.
Why do they gotta make the droid so explosive, dude?
Well, it's easy to do when you sit it on the front end of a fucking persuader tank.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, clone troopers...
Persuade me to not shoot you in the chest, persuader tank.
Meanwhile, clone troopers fired from trenches and clone sharpshooters sniped out enemies from the branches of Tree Kachiro. On the vehicle front, Wookiee Ovar jet catamarans were aided by the Republic's juggernauts, ATAP and ATRT walkers, alongside other assault vehicles. They faced opposition from separatist persuader droids, dwarf spider droids, and HMP gunships. The job of the 41st and 501st detachments, supported by the Wookiees, was to fight on the beachfront, defending the seawall, and to hold the line until separatist forces were fully committed. When this occurred, Yoda gave the word to Master Unduli to countercharge the droid army on its left flank with the 41st Elite. Simultaneously, Quinlan Voss, alongside Chewbacca and Tarful, were sent across the lagoon to lead an attack on approaching separatist forces. But Villy still felt it necessary to join the action, a decision that led to the destruction of the Inferno by an enemy gunship. Voss, Villy, and Shock were immediately sent to a Juggernaut to recuperate.
How they're using a Juggernaut as a med station. That's crazy.
I mean, you see how big they are? Dude, you carry whole armies in that thing. You carry a whole company inside that unit. It's a super tank.
Ooh. It's great.
At this point, the battle would seem to go back and forth until, despite the best efforts of the combined Wookiee and Republic defense, Kachira was in danger of being overrun by the Separatists. 501st had been beaten back by Separatist forces, which were advancing on the Kachira seawall, attempting to destroy a crucial energy refinery. Defending the seawall from atop were two concussion turrets and multiple clone troopers. However, few attempts from the CIS to destroy the seawall were made from the Wookiee refinery, and eventually, the tide of the battle turned back into Republic favor. Best efforts of clone engineers and TX-130 fighter tanks.
It was you the whole time!
Managed to keep the seawall intact until Master Yoda could arrive to push the CIS back. With the foiling of this crucial mission, the droid army began to retreat from the refinery and the surrounding beaches were recaptured. Despite the success, however, Republic forces suffered heavy casualties. The decision to meet the droid army in the shallows meant the Juggernaut armor and ATAP artillery could not be deployed until Separatist forces had come ashore. The cost of heavy infantry casualties on the beachfront.
Yeah, there was a lot of clones there.
Yep. There's soon about to be a lot less Jedi, too.
Oh, no. Not like this.
Because it's at this point, as the battle had finally made its drastic turn, that Master Yoda would come to sense a strong shock of disturbance through the Force, as many voices in the Force were silenced. A mass shock that carried the entire galaxy over. Jedi were being slowly wiped out, one by one by one. And Yoda was on the threat of being next. However, managing to recover from the brief shock, he was able to slay the clone commander Gree and the and a 41st trooper who joined him, beheading both troopers in a very swift action.
Gotta get him out.
Order 66 had officially begun. And while Yoda, alongside Tarful and Chewbacca, were among the luckier ones, some were not as lucky. Because when Yoda and Chewbacca escaped minutes after their departure from the command post in the meeting hall, a clone Juggernaut tank fired on the command post, attempting to ensure that the Jedi was killed. While outside, the battle...
Really hard to kill Yoda. He's tiny. All your attacks...
He's also really fast.
If Soul Calibur taught me anything, you gotta hit him with lows, dude.
He's really fast for an old man.
Fucking faking it with that cane, dude.
He runs around on that cane as a joke. He's mocking you.
Look, old I am, you see. Like, yeah, you're really old. How'd you get over there? I'm fast. I'm faster than you. What?
There's a reason Yoda would just pop up out of nowhere when he met Luke in Empire Strikes Back.
I always thought it was because he was a Muppet. But no, it's because he's fast. I always thought it was because they didn't...
You thought the puppet logic... You thought the puppet logic was the reason. No! Nay!
I thought it was because they didn't want to see someone with someone's hand up Yoda, moving him around. But no, it's because he was really fast.
Now, outside the battle between Republic and Separatist forces, while that was slowing down, Wookiees stacked wrecked droids while clone troopers assessed the damage to their equipment. Jedi Master Unduli was conferring with 8 clone troopers on the transportation of wounded soldiers back to medships when she was ultimately pelted by blaster fire from all directions when the order went through.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of hard to block 360 when you're getting shot at all angles simultaneously.
It's how they got Aayla Secura.
It's how they got Ki-Adi-Mundi too.
No, Ki-Adi-Mundi got caught in a crossfire. So that was the big thing. That's actually a small thing that I think I've mentioned before. Is the reason the clone troopers did not immediately just gun him down, and this was an official quote from like a comic or one of the novels or something, is that they knew if they shot first, he was killing all of them.
I mean, he was a master for a reason.
Ki-Adi-Mundi is one of the scarier, like, power scaling. Ki-Adi-Mundi is one of the scariest Jedi Masters to go up against. He is up there in the top 7 of, like, really fucking strong Jedi.
Now, what's crazy is that he only issued Order 66 after Mace Windu died.
Yeah.
Because Mace Windu was like, Mace Windu would have killed everyone! Mace Windu has no chill.
No, none at all. This motherfucker would go around killing every other motherfucker.
Oh.
It's
crazy how that played out.
Now, it was during these same moments that Jedi Master Quinlan Voss was atop a clone juggernaut, reflecting on his decision to actually leave the Order for a woman he had begun to fall in love with. A woman in Legends, his lover's name was Colleen Hentz. During his reflection, however, his Juggernaut turbo tank was fired upon by another turbo tank.
That's rough.
Under the command of Clone Commander Faye, who had just received the order. However, unlike Luminara, Quinlan survived.
Of course he did. He's the luckiest Jedi.
Although severely burned, and he had vengefully slew all the 41st Elite Troopers under Faye's command who were searching for him. Eventually running into the commander himself killing him, but not without suffering dire wounds from blaster fire.
It's just Mustafa from fucking Austin Powers. I'm still alive. I'm just very severely burned.
Now,
You know
clever.
what? That's my headcanon now. He wears a fez.
Now, cleverly, with the help of Vilmar, who had managed to find the wounded Voss and help him to safety, the pair had to go on about burning Faye's body, tricking the clones into believing it was Quinlan's. And afterwards, he would bring him, Vilmar would nurse him back to health in a back-to-tank, returning 8 months later, where the Jedi would reunite with his lover and meet his new son, Corto Voss.
Not as cool.
Well, you'll find that opinion maybe different when you learn that Corto is one of the Jedi who actually goes on to be among Luke's Jedi Order.
I mean, that's pretty dope, but man, deserved better.
I think he's also trained by Kashyyyk. I don't remember who his master was.
Which one's
It's the Whippet Jedi. Remember the one that we believed that was believed to have been killed by Grievous in Battle of Hypori?
oh,
Who I said lived all the way to the fucking Legacy era?
Yep. I remember.
Over 100 years after the Vong?
Yeah, crazy. Crazy how long-lived some of those races are, dude.
Crazy! 900 years you live! Now we reach the whole aftermath of the battle, where in the confusion surrounding Order 66, Droid Army managed one last effort and broke the lines of Kashyyyk. Although the clone army was able to hold them back, Yoda, with Tarful and Chewbacca, escaped into the mountains nearby, evading clone patrols and allowing Yoda to escape in a escape pod. After exchanging farewells, Yoda departed the planet in the pod, and the two Wookiees went to rejoin their fellows. By this time, the droid army was slowly losing the war, and was ultimately shut down by Sidious's new apprentice, Darth Vader, who at the behest of his master also killed the Separatist Council on Mustafar, ending the Clone Wars entirely. With the fighting ceasing, ATRT squads were deployed to patrol Kashyyyk. Due to the Wookiee support, supporting the Jedi when Order 66 was issued, the Empire enforced a crackdown, with it taking several days of confusion to restore order in the city. The Commando Triton squad then began killing fugitive Wookiees throughout the forest before the Empire pulled out. Ultimately, the forces of the Galactic Empire left Kashyyyk empty-handed after investigating the vault of the Klaatu'vak Guild in Treviklin in Kashyyyk. They found the guild's data stacks wiped clean of information. Some 12 of the guild's most trusted scouts had fled with navigational data encrypted in hologrids. And it would not be until nearly 20 years later that one came to light in the hands of Chewbacca. Over 20 years it would take before they get one of those fucking data cards. The last little piece of aftermath following the overall battle is that soon after the end of the Clone Wars, the Wookiees began to salvage the masses of wrecked military hardware that the battlefield had left strewn across their world. Ironically, the Wookiees put this equipment to good use against Imperial forces several weeks later. The Empire, led by Darth Vader, returned to and occupied Kashyyyk mere weeks later when it was discovered the Wookiees were harboring fugitive Jedi led by Rowan Shrine and Oli Starstone. Kashyyyk was subjected to enslavement thereafter by the Empire, with many millions of Wookiees used in the construction of the Death Star. However, resistance on Kashyyyk continued for years after this, with the Jedi Master Kento Merrick leading a battle around 18 BBY, and the Empire was still conducting pacification operations as late as almost 4 years later in 15 BBY.
That name sounds familiar. I wonder why.
I wonder why. That couldn't possibly be the dead Jedi father of a certain Star Killer.
No, he's a man who loves children's card games.
I couldn't hold myself together after that one. God damn you.
He doesn't have a Millennium Puzzle. He just uses the Force, dude.
Millennium. It's the Millennium Rod.
No, it's just Jedi mind tricks, dude. He has the rod as a fucking MacGuffin. It's a red herring. Oh no, without this rod, I can't control minds. You will give me your god cards. It would have been even funnier if it was the same voice actor. I know it's not, but goddamn, that'd be hilarious.
I actually forget who voices Kento in that game.
I don't remember either.
I know it's someone infamous. I do not remember. Tom Kane.
Tom Kane?
Tom Kane actually voices Kento Merrick for that.
Oh shit!
Yeah. See, I thought I recognized the voice. I'm like, I recognize this, but why? And it's because it's fucking Tom Kane.
Hell yeah.
I mean,
Hell yeah, dude.
he does a lot. He actually does another voice in that one. He actually does the Imperial captain who takes over the operation there. Ozek Stern, I think is his name.
Okay.
He also does his voice in that one too. That one is exclusive to the that one, as far as I recall, though, is exclusive to the newer version of that game. Because this is kind of one of the reasons I did originally want to do Force Unleashed, but specifically because the PS2 and the Wii version were so much drastically different compared to what we got on the Xbox 360, the PS3, and eventually PC. The games are story and playstyle wise so much different. They're still similar in the fact that they're action adventures, but the events that play out are so much different. They're similar in what they are, but the way they play out are so much different. Because there's a lot more interim in between the two games, and there's a lot more build-up in some missions. Because, like, when you go to find Ram Koda, when you go back to Nar Shaddaa to find Ram Koda, there's a whole piece where you are just going through the city streets before you even get to him. But in the newer games, you just get to him and you're having to escort his drunk ass out of the fucking bar, only to get into the fucking boss fight with the Shadow Guard. And I think the mission on Bespin is also something that they removed. Which was, yeah, I don't think you go to Bespin in the modern one. They cut a lot of content in that one, but they did give us that what if, they did give us a what if story for an alt path for an sort of like alt path line, if you kill Vader instead of killing Palpatine. They kind of give a, because and this is something that you'll get to see whenever I actually do the game, is there's an alt story path where when you get to the final fight, after you kind of beat after you beat the literal mac and shit out of Vader, there is a choice you can make. You can choose to fight Vader or Palpatine. If you fight Palpatine, you have that game's canonical path, which will take you into the second game. However, there is an alternate path where when you fight Vader, Palpatine has the Rogue Shadow, Starkiller ship, crash into the throne room and kill off a large portion of the Rebels' leadership, and critically injuring Starkiller and killing Vader. Ultimately forcing Starkiller to become his new apprentice. Which is where he gets the badass fucking armored design.
Okay.
That's where that armored design that we see on all the fucking art for the game, all like art for the game now comes from. Is from that alt story path. Because he was later identified as a Sith hunter. He became Palpatine's basically Sith assassin, for lack of a better term. And during those side missions, there's a lot of like neat stuff that occurs there. You get a fight with Boba Fett, which happens in 2, but you don't really get that into as much. You also fight Obi-Wan on Tatooine before they actually escape.
Oh, okay. That sounds cool.
And and when the Millennium Falcon takes off, you just fucking yeet Obi-Wan into the fucking engine of the Falcon.
That's wild. Goodbye.
And then he comes back as a fucking Force Ghost, and you have to kill his ass again.
How many times are you gonna teach you this lesson, old man?
I'm killing your body and your soul. Die! Mind, body, and spirit, die!
Oh. God, those.
And then there's another... And then the other parts of that are... As... In the next one, you go to the Battle of Hoth, where... It is a much... I think that's actually one of the cooler set pieces of the game, is going into that battle. Because the way Echo Base looks in that one is really fucking cool. They actually made the set for Echo Base in that one look really fucking cool. Fighting your way through the fucking trenches in the command tower and shit.
Hell yeah. Dude, Echo Base
all to fucking go in to fight Luke in a final boss battle there. Ultimately, turning Luke to the dark side. Because at this point, he's still fledgling Jedi. He's still wannabe Jedi Padawan. He never got proper training yet.
You're right, he never made it to Dathomir.
Shut up. Shut up.
Sorry, I meant Dantooine.
What Dantooine? They don't even go to Dantooine.
It's one of those D-word planets. You know, like
the Death Star.
The Death Star.
I mean, he goes there, but he doesn't get the training on the way like he did last time.
Yeah.
But you turn Luke there, and the last of those what if things that pops up is a special one in the second game, where you kill Han and Chewie at the Battle of Endor and have to fight a Jedi Knight, Leia.
That sounds dope.
You have to fight Leia, who has become Luke in that scenario as the new lead Jedi character.
That's pretty dope. I like that.
It was actually one of the it's a really cool little side story, and I think that's one thing that I like to do, and maybe something at some point I may try to do for for some of these is go into some of like these kind of what if ideas. Because I think some of those are really, because getting to talk about the what if things in these stories, especially with how Star Wars is, there's so many possibilities that could have changed, and so many ways it could have been different. Like, all these different events come out very differently if certain events or certain characters were around for them.
Yeah. Like Battle of Endor with Thrawn.
Battle of Endor with Thrawn ends handedly in Imperial victory. Like, there's not even a resistance from the rebellion at that point.
No. He would have crushed all of it.
And been able to successfully capture Luke, Leia, and all the rebel leadership.
Oh yeah, like it would have ended the rebellion.
He would have easily handed the Rebel Alliance, their ass.
There would have been no New Republic.
Would have been no New Republic, because the Empire is the supreme power of the universe.
Correct.
But that's pretty much everything we've got as far as the Battle of Kashyyyk.
Hell yeah.
One of our, like I said, this is of some of the big infamous battles of the Clone Wars, especially for some of like the later battles. This is up there as one of my favorites. This one really is good. Like, for top 5, this is probably either my number 2 or my number 3 for like big favorite battles of the Clone Wars. Because of all the craziness that occurs and all the ups and down turns that this entire story takes, and all the things that lead up to it. All the parts that lead up to these various facets that make it so fucking impactful and detrimental. Because not only is it one of the biggest battles to occur in the Clone Wars, it is also one of the last to occur in the Clone Wars.
Yes.
And again, I wish we got to see more of this. It's why I enjoy seeing Kashyyyk in the video games so much. Because I love getting to fight it out on that planet, trying to do these back. I think that's another reason why, while most people did not like the Kashyyyk map in the new Battlefront 2, I think that is bar none my favorite of the Galactic Assault maps, where it's actually like the objective based attack and defense shit.
Mm-hmm.
I fucking love that. I love that mission so much. Having to fight through the beach, getting to see the whole scope of that battlefield. Because that's the one thing that I think and while I know you're like really meh when it comes to a lot of newer Star Wars stuff, I still firmly stand on the hill that there was some genuine weight that could have been had in the new Battlefront 2 if they had just taken the time to iron it out and given more opportunity to add more stuff. They had gotten the chance to add more stuff. That would have been the game.
Yeah, the new Battlefront games were surprisingly good. They played well. I just didn't like the monetization of it.
Which, again, they pretty much nuked within the first week.
Yeah, but they still did it.
We know.
Which is why I don't buy BioWare games anymore. Not that it matters because BioWare's dying.
Yeah.
It's in its death
Veilguard.
throes right now.
Veilguard definitely signaled the death knell for BioWare.
I don't think you understand. The CEO of BioWare was like, the reason that Veilguard failed was because it wasn't monetized enough. Which makes me dread the new Mass Effect game.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's a thing that's still happening.
Veilguard failed because it wasn't live service. Ugh! It's a single player game. Why are you making a live service?
I don't know, why are they trying to make... I don't know, why are they trying to make some of these other games live service?
I'm tired of gas, dude. Stop gassing up my games. Yeah, games as service. Stop gassing up my games. Fuck you guys. Because that really means those games are only good up until the server is closed, then you can't play it anymore. And it sucks, because you know that's going to happen. These games aren't forever. And very few of those companies actually will sit there and take all of the service elements out of it to make it a standalone single-player game at the end of its life cycle. They just dumpster it instead. So it's like, oh, cool, I'm so happy I spent $100 on this AAA game that's a live service, and I can play it for 3 years, and then it's dead forever. Very upset. I'm very upset with modern gaming. I hate it so much. It's so
You're not the only one.
Oh!
You are not the only voice in that, not the only voice screaming into the void on that one.
Yeah, unfortunately, there could be millions of us, and it's like yelling at a brick wall. It's not gonna do anything.
It's why we come to enjoy some of these other games that do, in the era of modern gaming, make that light just a little, make that void just a little bit brighter.
Yeah. Look at you, Baldur's Gate.
Baldur's Gate, Helldivers.
Helldivers is a live service game, though. Once those servers shut down, you can't play that game anymore. It's a good one, but it's still live service. And it bugs me. But that's not going to stop me from playing it. That game's dope as shit.
For democracy.
that game is so cool. But I know deep down in my heart that that game isn't going to last forever. Joel will have to retire, and when he does, that game's going to crumble to dust.
I mean, it's not even a matter of... Eventually, that story has to come to a close. It's the ultimate thing here. That story has to come to a close at some point.
No, it's like the 41st millennium.
There is only war.
There is only war.
There is only war. Well, I think at the very least that for next week we should look at giving our episode for next week.
Okay.
And I think to help coincide with our book club, since we've already discussed one of the two major characters in that book, let's discuss our other one.
Ah! All right. I'm going to throw out a guess here. Dooku.
Nope.
Ah, dang.
Nope.
It was a 50-50.
you took the stab in the dark, but you missed.
Damn.
You chose door number one. Door number one was incorrect. I do want to do an episode on Dooku at some point, but no, because this one coincides with our book club, and we were just talking about him.
Yeah,
we are going to do Voss. We are going to do Quinlan Voss because, honestly, Quinlan Voss is one of the few background characters, for lack of a better word, to really be one of the cooler additions to Star Wars lore in general.
That's fair.
He is one of the cooler Jedi of that era. He's basically like if Anakin was as controlled as... He's basically like if you took all the elements of Anakin and made him more reserved in some regard.
Yeah.
Gave him that reservation that sets him to be able to become a Jedi Master.
Yep. He was goofy,
He's
but
Anakin with the restraints.
yes. I mean, for a while.
Yeah, he does eventually become unhinged. Even in Legends, he actually has a stint where he goes completely unhinged, and not just against the clones after Order 66. Because I want to see if I can actually find the comic image of what he looked like after he got blown, when he was like hunting his way through the fucking jungles, killing clones.
God damn it. So I wanted to while we were talking about Voss, I wanted to look up an image of him, and then I just saw an image of Asajj, and I was like, man,
Now you're sad.
Raw. Asajj can get it, dude.
There you
I'm
go.
also sad, but Asajj can get it.
There you go.
Alright, what am I looking at? Where? Oh! Fuck. Oh! Oh! Ooh.
Yeah, that's what he
Ooh.
looked like after fucking enduring that fucking blaster shot. After that laser cannon blast that took out his turbo tank.
He where's his cool tattoo?
It's on the left. See it on the left arm? He actually has a few other ones if you look at it.
Well, I meant like the one on his face.
It's hidden underneath the scars and blood.
Oh, okay.
It's also shaded. Also a bit shaded,
damage.
a bit weird. Yeah, he was he got roughed up.
Oh, okay, I can see it now. Now that I'm like really looking at his
You gotta
face,
really
I can
look.
see it.
You gotta
Yeah.
really look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got fucked up from that explosion. Now in canon, his fate is kind of left ambiguous, but we learned in the Kenobi series that he does actually survive as well. Because there's a like wall plaque thing in Kenobi that has a list of Jedi names who were helped by a group of Jedi sympathizers known as the Hidden Path, and Voss's name was among various others on the wall. Because that's the one that's the one Obi-Wan actually calls out. Is he says Quinlan Voss is alive. We don't know how he survived. He just did. I mean, if he survived and Ventress survived, maybe there is a chance for their future.
Maybe.
I honestly would hope that that's something they make use of, is because Kenobi confirmed he survived, that when they eventually try to do more with Ventress, now that she's an active character again in canon, that they try to explore more of their relation or try to bring up the two characters more.
Yeah. I completely forgot that they redid the canon for Zabrak.
Yes.
Because I'm like, what the fuck is Asajj? Because I couldn't remember. And I was like, oh, okay.
Ratataki.
She's Zabrak.
No, she is a Ratataki. Did we establish this? She's a Ratataki.
Okay. Then, where is...
Because remember, she's the same race as the fucking the first companion chick for the Imperial agent in
Then riddle me this, Riddler.
Pretty sure that's part Zabrak, but that's because she's Dathomiri now.
Ah, but see, I clicked on Dathomirian, and Dathomirian are Zabrak. It's just the female don't have cranial horns.
I don't believe you.
Here you go, buddy. Get dumpstered on. They redid her lore.
Love it when we just upend established lore like this.
Right? It's great.
It.
Yeah.
It's...
This is what sold me here. This. Come on, post it. There you go. Which means,
but
all the lady Zabrak and galaxies are wrong now.
But that's also incorrect, because unless that's just a distinction specific to the Dathomirian Zabrak.
I'm hoping that's it.
Because we see in Clone Wars a female Zabrak
with
sure horns.
You sure do.
So,
what I'm getting at is Disney has no idea what the fuck they're doing.
I mean, that was established to begin with, but
this is blatant. Like, this is like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
What the fuck are you doing?
See, here's the thing. You're not now, like, changing lore from, like, legends and shit into canon, like, changing it around
You're
there. You're changing your own lore. You're changing your own lore.
What are you
doing?
Your own lore. Upending your own canon.
Oh
How
my
do you
God.
feel?
Angry. Of course, Disney doesn't care as long as it makes them money. Fucks.
Which it really isn't right now.
Yeah, it's almost like they should stop fucking it up.
No, they have to fuck it up more.
We have to fuck it up so much that you guys will be okay with the less fuck-ups we make.
Eventually, we'll get to the point where people are just okay with the fuck-ups.
We're going to dig a hole straight to the core of the earth. And then every now and then, we're going to take one shovel of dirt and put it back in the hole. And you'll be like, finally, some good stuff. Because we're so used to dog shit that any move towards the right direction, you're like, that's the best one. You're like, yeah, but you're still in the hole. You're still in the hole.
Us Star Wars fans out here waiting for that one opportunity for just finally some good fucking food.
Right? Oh,
waiting on it, man.
It's never gonna come.
Never gonna come.
We're gonna get it, and we're gonna be like, finally. Master has given Dobby a sock. Dobby is free. And it's the crustiest, oldest sock ever. You're like, we got one. We're good now. Fucking awful. I hate it. I hate it here.
It's real bad. Like, y'all need to fix your shit. Y'all need to fix your shit and just stop doing what you're doing. And do something not what you're doing. Because clearly it's not working. No matter how much fan wankery you throw in.
No matter how much nostalgia bait you throw around, it's bad.
You can't save us. Honestly, I think that's something that, watching Skeleton Crew, I was actually kind of happy with. That it was a show that was completely without any nostalgia bait. It was a show fresh from the formula.
Yes.
And I like that.
I will agree with you there.
I like that. I like that they tried to do something with an entirely original cast.
Yes. Don't bring anybody else back. Don't even bring like, oh look, you can see Bosk in the... No. Nothing.
No.
Nothing.
Nothing. None.
I want all original characters. Because you take the characters that I do like and you fuck them up. I'd rather you fuck up your own characters. Thank you.
Like, I think Skeleton Crew is the example of what they should have been doing when they made the sequels.
Yeah. It's a shame that episode's gone. It's lost to the ether.
Yeah. Yeah. Our true thoughts for Maybe one day, if we get enough actual support, we will try to remake that episode.
It's we have the lost episode. It's dangling above your heads. Yo, we talked about it, and we talked about it for a while. It's right here. Look at it, but you can't watch it.
We will remake it.
Oh,
we'll remake and
man.
redo that episode for you guys if you put enough support out.
Oh. Yeah, I'm down to do it again. It won't be as good as the second
It
time.
won't be as good
We
the
can
second
still
time.
do it.
We're as good the second time, but we will still make the effort because it was something we definitely tried to do.
And because it's me, you'll know I'll use the same jokes again. So you'll at least get those.
And on top of that,
I'm nothing if not consistent.
yeah, we are. On top of that, we'll also have a lot more we can throw in to actually discuss that. But yeah. So we'll throw that little piece of bait out there for you. Throw in. I know I don't have a lot of people who really jump in on this, but if I can get, what do you think, 100 likes? 100 likes
doable.
100 likes to this video, and we will go about redoing our Skeleton Crew review.
Yeah, I'm down with that. 100's doable.
So, and we will, but next week we will be doing Holden Voss's episode, and I think for this stream we'll end up doing our I think we'll actually try to do either finally take that stab at Jedi power battles, or we will go about starting doing like Force Unleashed as a playthrough. We'll do our once a month playthrough for your once a month playthrough for next Saturday.
Yeah. It'd be fun.
Like I said, I think we'll do either Force Unleashed, or we'll either actually do Force Unleashed, or we'll do the Jedi power battles. The power battles we can do together, but Force Unleashed should be you kind of watching along through the action.
It would essentially be a couch session.
Yeah. So we'll do that next week, because I do want to do more. I do want to get more active playthroughs going on the channel. I'm actually going to be starting up 2 and having a episode of each playthrough kind of going up every week, essentially.
Oh, there you go. Nice.
So Monday through Friday, I'll have a new episode of one every week, and then every other Saturday, I guess we'll do every other Saturday we'll do one for our Star Wars games.
Yeah,
Kind of coincide for the podcast episodes on those days.
Yeah, we can do that.
So we'll be hitting a bit of that up, and until next time, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Freelancer, signing off until then. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.